Hello and welcome back to the Leinster Listen. I'm your host Mick Lennan and this is episode 30, the preview of Leinster vs Cardiff in round 12 of the URC. The topics we'll discuss today are the URC Game Predictions, details of our game, the team lineups, score and man of the match prediction, and then the discussion point on the Laya Arena Hype. Okay folks, back into the URC and with round 12 coming up. Good few games, obviously, as per usual, with a little bit of a twist here since most of the teams are missing an awful lot of players given the Six Nations is on. As you know, we're back to URC now because Six Nations rest week, so we've a couple of people coming back into the clubs, very, very little. And then also Leinster have been a little bit helped out with return of injury lists there as well. So getting into the games this weekend, we'll kind of give our prediction here. So we've Cardiff versus Leinster. Yeah, look, I think it might be a little bit tight, but I think Leinster are going to keep our 11 win streak going here for number 12. Next up, we've Edinburgh versus Scarlet. Yeah, look, I think Edinburgh are probably going to win that. I know they've been kind of muted now with an awful lot of internationals gone there, but I think the Scarlets are in a very worse position as well. So yeah, Edinburgh for that. Now going into the South African games, we've Lions versus Stormers. Yeah, like they're obviously not missing anyone really here, but I do think Stormers should win that one. Then we also have Bulls versus Sharks, and I do think the Bulls, just having that home advantage, should win that one as well. Next up, we've Connacht versus Glasgow Warriors, and yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm going to say Connacht because it's probably their best chance yet at beating Glasgow Warriors, and considering Glasgow Warriors are doing very well in the URC table at the moment, you know, it would be great to see them getting beaten, and they are seeding an awful lot of that Scottish team. So yeah, look, Connacht, I'm going to back them the whole way here. Hopefully they win it. Next up, we've Munster versus Zebre. Yep, obviously I think Munster are going to win it. Zebre are obviously fielding an awful lot into that team as well, as are Munster, so you know they're going to feel the heat, but given that home advantage, it just might help them over the line. We've Dragons versus Benetton. Look, and again, I do think Dragons are going to win this. Like, they're always so good at home. Benetton, obviously, as I said again, seeding that international team, it's such a big factor when it comes to these rest week URC club games. Again, you know, it's a different dynamic. You're going to have to expect the unexpected, really. So yeah, look, I think Dragons will probably win that one, but I would like to see Benetton just getting that as well, because no, they definitely need to pick me up given the season there. We also have then last but not least, Ospreys versus Ulster, and yeah, look, Ulster are definitely going to miss their big men there like Stuart McCluskey and Ballycoon, but I do think they're going to win that. You know, Ospreys just really, I think they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle, and Ulster still have a good few players there who are well up to the challenge. So yeah, I'm going to go for Ulster in that. Details of our game, yeah, kick-off, it's at 7 p.m. on Friday. Weather is looking very wet, very windy, and it's about 8 degrees Celsius. So if you are going over to Cardiff, bring your umbrella and bring everything that's going to, bring a raincoat, bring a flask, bring everything, because it's not going to be a nice day out. But look, it's rugby, isn't it? It's a winter sport. That's what we signed ourselves up for. It's in the Cardiff Arms Park. Referee there is Sam Grove White. He's a Scottish Rugby Union referee, and you might remember him from Troy McClure. I mean, you might remember him from a few skating articles there written by Owen Doyle, and Doyle is not a fan of him, and he definitely wasn't last season anyway. Doyle there, with his main complaint being the scrum time, communication style. Yeah, look, he's not a fan of Sam Grove White. But look, let's see how he gets on. Let's see how he fares this time. We'll know all about it if there's another Owen Doyle article there up in the Irish Times. So hopefully not, or if it is, hopefully it's not against Leinster. Where you can watch it, yeah, obviously in Cardiff Arms Park, but if not, TG Caher are airing that domestically, and then obviously you have your Premier Sports showing that as well. Okay, going into the lineups. So Leinster lineup starting there: 15 Jimmy O'Brien, 14 Joshua Kenny, 13 Raiko Wane, 12 Robbie Henshaw, 11 Ruben Maloney, 10 Harry Byrne, 9 Fintan Gunn. Moving over to forwards here: number 1 Jerry Carr, 2 John McKee, 3 Andrew Sparrow, 4 Alan Spicer, 5 Brian Deeney, 6 and our captain Max Deegan, 7 Scott Penny, and 8 James Culhan. Replacements there: number 16 Gus McCarthy, 17 Alex Usanov, 18 Rabah Salmani, 19 RG Snyman, 20 Josh Erickson, 21 Luke McGrath, 22 Charlie Tector, and number 23 Andrew Osborne. Going over there into the Cardiff lineup, we've number 15 Cam Winnett, 14 Jacob Beetham, 13 Harry Millard, 12 Ben Thomas, 11 Mason Grady, 10 Callum Sheedy, 9, Aled Davies. Going over to the forwards there, you've 1, Rhys Barrett. 2, and their captain, Liam Belcher. 3, Javin Sebastian. 4, Josh McNally. 5, George Knott. 6, Alan Lawrence. 7, Dan Thomas. 8, Tane Basham. Into the replacements there, 16, Daff Hughes. 17, Danny Southworth. 18, Kieran Asserati. 19, Rory Thornton. 20, Evan Rees. 21, Johan Multer. 22, Ian Lloyd. And 23, Tom Bowen. You would have noticed there that both teams are opting for a 5-3 split. Obviously Leinster and Cardiff there. So yeah, look, they're obviously back, and their backs and their forwards not getting injured. But you know, it's worked out in the past, worked out for the Ireland squad. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's probably a more so numbers game than now at this point. Who to watch there for Leinster? Yeah, look, Spicer. Spicer, love to see it. Yeah, 6'10", just tipping that 7 foot. I suppose if you were standing beside him, you'd probably say he was 7 foot. Yeah, look, he's brought back there. Obviously, fuck shit up when a lot of the lads are away. Big following online. A lot of people love him on Reddit, and look, he's going to want to prove himself. I think it's probably his second cap there. Just double check that. Yeah, look, I think Spicer's going to have a field day out there. He's a great player. You know, as I said, he's 6'10". We don't even need to put him up in the lineouts. He'll just like extend his arms up and catch the ball no matter what height it goes. Moving over there, JJ Kenny. Yeah, look, he's back from the 15s, the Ireland A's there. Cardiff obviously had a very reduced number. I think they fielded 7 and they've got 3 returned. So yeah, look, that is going to hurt them. It's going to hurt any team really to have that many gone. So with that reduced number, I really hope he gets the space that he can, you know, inject that pace into the wing and get a few tries there. You know, you might get that room to run. And obviously there, you know, coming off the bench, a huge call back from injury there, Rabah Salmani. Delighted to have him back. You know, unfortunately he's on the way out for us. You know, he came out for retirement just to play for Leinster. Now he's gone back to another club, but he can't blame the man. He has a love for rugby, and look, it's great to see him on the bench again. And I think he's going to be a huge impact sub there, coming on probably early in the second half, I'd imagine. So you know, those players are always trying to prove their worth to their new fans of the clubs they're going to as well. So no harm in making sure that he gets the game time there. Moving over there to the Cardiff, yeah, look, I'm just going to, you know who I'm going to name here. It's the 3 lads that are coming back from the internationals. So you have Liam Belcher here, who's a hooker. You have Ben Thomas, the centre. And you have Mason Grady, the winger. And look, I know a few of them didn't really get much game time in the Welsh team, mostly in the subs there. But like, it benefits any team to get the lads back, even if it's not just to drive the spirit up from the lads that haven't brought forward to the international team, to, you know, show force for them, to get them up for the game, wanting to get the spirits high as well. So yeah, I think they're going to have a huge impact. I think we're going to have to watch out for them, and yeah, look, hopefully get over them. Going over there, I suppose, getting over them as well. Previous games, we last played them in March 2025 and we beat them 42-24, and actually the last time we lost to Cardiff was in 2022, and that was a very tight score of 29-27. I'm nearly sure I remember that being a very last minute penalty, if I remember correctly, which obviously hurts us. We hate that. You know, we hate those kind of losses. I suppose my prediction there, yeah, look, Cardiff a little bit depleted for players. They're missing still 4, I suppose, into the international crew there after getting 3 back. Look, but in saying that, they got 3 back, but yeah, we also got a good few back, not just from internationals, but from the injury list as well. Like, we've Robbie Henshaw there, we've Harry Byrne, with Jimmy O'Brien, Rabah Samani. Yeah, like, we've a strong team, very strong team, and you know, we also have the Iron Giant Spicer there, who's obviously going to be very impactful in the lineouts. And yeah, look, the bookies have us there at 10-11 on with a -5 handicap, which I find crazy. That's the level we are now. Yeah, fair enough. Like, it's probably one of those games that I'm going to call absolutely shocking again, and everyone is going to say, thank God you're not a betting man, and I'll say it again. I know I will, but I do think we'll come out on top there. And I think, you know, I love seeing Max Deegan being the captain. You know, he's a fantastic player. He's done such a huge job for us. I'm going to pip him as our man of the match, by the way, so a little bit of a spoiler there. But if I was to give a prediction for the game, I'm going to go low scoring for Cardiff and maybe 3 tries for us. So I'd say 10-21 to Leinster. Yeah, 11-point gap. I don't think maybe we might get the bonus point. If we can get the space out in the wing with, you know, JJ Kenny, I think we might actually end up getting that. But Yeah, can't see it. But look, 10-21, Max Egan man of the match. Folks, we are nearly back home. So this is a discussion point. We have the Laya Arena Hype. We're nearly back to the RDS. It's coming up next season. After getting a good few more emails there from Leinster, kind of, showcasing the stadium, getting the season ticket holders ready for, obviously behind our new season ticket, but with the added benefit of it being in the RDS again. And it's only around the corner, sure. It's literally only around the corner. And look, don't get me wrong, the Aviva is very nice, but the RDS is home, lads, isn't it? It's just, that's where you want to be. That is where you want to be. And I think as fans, we're definitely ready to leave that, huge 50,000 odd seater in the soulless experience in the Aviva at the moment, which is, it's not really built for us, but the RDS is now actually being built for us, exactly. And, the Aviva was great, but you want those bigger games played there instead. Like going in a wet, windy, dark evening and looking up to a completely empty upper tiers, it's not something you want to see. And you kind of think back there to all the games when you're watching the likes of, you'll see them again now with the Lions versus, Stormers, or those South African games where these huge stadiums are just 80% empty. The DJ having to work overtime to get the crowd going. The camera pans over because the camera's over where the people are sitting, looking over into an empty stand. It's a bit crazy. No real atmosphere. I think we're done with that. I think we're kind of done with that. And at least in South African games, actually, get a bit of sun. You're going into the Aviva miserably wet and looking up into these upper tiers. It's a sad sight. It is a sad sight. But look, anyway, I can't wait for the RDS to reopen. The Laya Arena. Well, actually, no, I'm not getting sponsored by them. So, no, it's the RDS. It'll remain the RDS in any case. But yeah, look, I'm excited to get back to it. And the stadium looks class. I was actually cycling past there a few weeks ago. Obviously, couldn't see in the inside. But even from the outside, it's very impressive. It's a very impressive feat. And it's a very impressive structure as well. And, I was reading into it there as well. They've gone very green. There's solar panels all along the top as well. So, it's built to last. It's a once in a generational change for us. And I opened a discussion on Reddit there just to kind of get some other people's opinions on it. And, some of the comments were actually brilliant. So let's go through there. So with one there from 1993 Blah, user saying, not having to go to the Aviva for most games, the RDS is just better. Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is. It's where we've always wanted to go to the games. And, you want those bigger games, as I said, in the Aviva. And it kind of makes it more of a special occasion in that sense. Another comment there, obviously kind of backing that as well, from exclamation mark. A smaller stadium, a packed-in full house, 20,000 sounds and feels far more electric and intimidating than the 30,000 in a 50,000 stadium. Yeah, that's nail in the head there. That is, you want that packed out RDS to really bring the pressure on to those, traveling teams and traveling fans, and really drown them out. And that's not really what we've had in the Aviva so far. So yeah, looking forward to that. Another comment there by Kieran Cos. The terrace, it's a better atmosphere with the new 6 terrace setup. I really hope it doesn't dilute what we had. Yeah, and I agree there. Actually, and I think I replied to that comment being that I remember actually buying one of my first tickets into the RDS, and I was in that, I thought it was seating tickets, and I was actually in the standing area underneath the terraces, which I found amazing. I was like, I remember we're rocking up to it going, what? I honestly thought I'd bought seats. But it actually was fierce class. It was actually great crack. Now, I think those ones are gone, but I'm sure we'll get that same atmosphere in that new stadium there. We have another comment there by Jim K94. He's looking forward to, or are they looking forward to, genuinely good food and drink options with short queues, being able to go to the toilet, get a coffee or a pint quickly at half time, sitting beside actual fans, not people going in and out, non-staffer pints who are just there for a day out. Yeah, look, I think you kind of got to the point in the RDS when you knew the people beside you, behind you, in front of you, and that was a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing to even just see the same faces, have the same chats, bit of crack, That's what it's all about, lads. It's all about a bit of community there as well. We had another comment there by Darcy's Beard, checking the place out in general. just seeing what's new, what's better, maybe even what's worse. And yeah, look, obviously we'll have a couple of aspects there that are going to be worse. Hopefully it's not the Jacks. Hopefully the Jacks are lovely. And obviously the pints, those tasty pints. I'm sure there'll still be the caravans out the front there that are selling those those pints. But as long as they're a little bit tasty, I won't say no. And then we had a brilliant one there, and to finish it off there, we'd one from Ideal Self 2021, and it was can't wait to pay €140 for one of those pizza cone things. They actually are, well, they were class though, so I won't hear anything about it, and we'll have to do I'll do a full episode review when we get back to it, just on those pizza cone things. But yeah, look, sure, what's your most exciting thing to look forward to with the return to new improved RDS Arena? Is anything we've mentioned there already? Is it something that people are missing? Let me know in the comments. Alright, that's her, folks. Again, if you haven't already, please do follow us on social media, Instagram, Reddit, and Blue Sky. And yeah, look, if you're at the game, best of luck, wrap up, get the brollies out, get your ponchos out, and get a few little nixers there, and maybe a little hip flask in to keep you warm. And as always, folks, thanks for listening.